If your tire can't balance on a road force balancer, there's something wrong.
Especially in snow, and all of a sudden it does catch or it falls off something, then yeah, you're going to lose a bead, and it's not the end of the world. It just happens.
So you can have a 8-ply tire that has a load rating of an E. I know the internet is going to argue with me on this, but there's a specific size wheel that are meant to fit the tires.
This is Two Dudes, One Wrench.
This episode of Two Dudes, One Wrench is brought to you by Metal Cloak and Toyo Tires, two brands that understand one simple truth. If you're going to build it, lift it, or send it into the wilderness, it better be built right. Metal Cloak delivers the suspension and armor that keeps your rig crawling with confidence, and Toyo Tires brings the traction, toughness, and attitude to match. Big thanks to our supporters for keeping the wrenches turning and the adventures rolling.
Awesome. Welcome to Two Dudes, One Wrench. I'm Paul.
Christian.
Cool. And Two Dudes, One Wrench. The thing you may not have noticed is it includes the name wrench. And so here it is.
Brought a wrench today.
You brought a wrench today. Not every time we talk about wrenches,
but... Not every time?
Yeah.
Because we've covered a wrench is a tool.
Yes.
So it's an umbrella of tools I can use.
Correct. There
Excellent.
you go.
But this time, I brought a wrench.
It's actually a wrench. Go ahead.
So, this...
What do you have there, sir?
I got this actually recently because I got sick of stealing it out of Landon's toolbox.
Okay.
So Landon actually found this. This is Channel Lock's stubby adjustable wrench.
Cool.
Now, the neat thing about this is it opens its jaws up big and wide.
Do
so
tell.
you can fit large items in it.
Okay.
Now, where this comes in really handy, I found, is adjusting control arms, track bars, tie rods, and all that kind
there
of
you
stuff.
go. That's where
because
I see it.
sometimes a normal size wrench is too long, and I want to get more sweep on something
Right. In
that
a tighter
isn't
area.
super tight. Obviously, the jam nuts should be fairly movable.
Yeah.
But it's just not movable by fingers.
Right.
So you have this. And they make two versions of this. I got this one. They make one where the jaws are narrower or thinner for getting in tighter locations. I care more about strong, and I'm mostly just adjusting jam nuts with this. But this, and this is great. I think we even put one of these in your tool roll in your Jeep.
We did. Yeah, we did. I have that exact one, actually. Yeah.
So useful of a size, this stubby channel lock that goes up to 1.5-inch size bolt heads.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
you're welcome.
There we go. That's your wrench. Today's episode, because we get so many questions on this, is tires. The general topic of tires. Tell me about tires.
They go on your vehicle.
They go on your vehicle and they contact the road and they're made of rubber.
Yes.
So when we look at tires, the first thing we come across a lot is different brands. And people have so many opinions on so many brands that they swear is the absolute best for them. And everybody has an opinion based on their experiences, which is great. And we have a lot of experience. We have sliced the shit out of tires. I have destroyed 5 tires in the last 8 years. Usually that's in rocks. Once it was on snow.
I've only ever destroyed 2 tires. It was the same 2 days. And
so last time, I went with you up in the Kootenays there, and you ended up having to use my spare
to drive
on your
8
vehicle
hours home.
because you missed up 2 tires.
Wasn't even the same size.
Wasn't even the same size?
Wasn't the same size wheel or tire.
And as we were driving down the highway together, I thought it was funny that I kept picking up the TPMS from your front left tire that you got. Yeah, it was pretty funny because you're using my tire. But looking at different types of brands, for us is what we're particular to is we use a lot of Nitto here. We use a lot of Mickey Thompson. We use a lot of Toyo. Toyo has been a later thing we've used in the last couple of years.
So brands are a little different for us.
Yeah.
As we're not the general public.
Right.
We're recommending or we're building a vehicle. So it's not so much about a good deal or something. We have to put on something we can trust to not kill these people or their families.
Right.
So it's a safety thing, and I could get a cheaper tire, and there's lots of brands out there. I'm not even going to bother mentioning names.
Yeah.
But I need it to last because if it has a problem, they have a problem, which then comes to me, and then I have a problem.
Right.
So my whole philosophy for the shop is don't create headaches.
Right.
Both for them or for me, because it's just a spiral.
Yep.
So we stick to the major labels. It's just what we do.
Right.
We stick to like you were saying, BFG, Toyo, Nitto, Yokohama,
Mickey Thompson.
Falcon, Mickey Thompson, and there's probably a couple others. Not so much Goodyear anymore. They kind of dropped off the face of the planet to me, besides the Duratrack, which scares me. But that's what we normally do.
Yep.
And we stick to pretty much 2 tire sizes, sometimes a third.
Yeah, and we've actually had to warranty tires before as well. And with those major brands, we've had some problems with some of them, but generally it works out in the end. We've
Our
been
only
able to
issues are
warranty them.
because sometimes we're dealing with an American entity
Right.
for a tire here instead
Canada,
of like a Canadian. And not everyone has a Canadian entity. I think Mickey Thompson does not have a Canadian
Right.
Mickey Thompson.
Yeah.
That's the American. So now we're dealing with a border.
Yeah.
You can't just send stuff across the
No,
border and
especially
not
on tires.
expect
Yeah.
costs.
Yeah.
And that was even before tariff wars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've had to warranty some tires because they didn't balance at all.
Yeah.
And when it's the first time you put the tires on, it's really easy to deal with that. You just send them to get road force balance. They give you a printout. You hand the printout there, be like, hey, bad tire.
Yeah.
And you get new ones.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, balancing is a big thing. Maybe touch on that a bit because you have some tires that take a lot of weight,
So,
and then we've warranted
just
those
because
before.
a tire takes a lot of weight doesn't mean it's a bad tire.
Right.
As long as it balances to 0 and stays balanced, it's
Right.
fine.
Right.
So tires like Mickey Thompson
Yeah.
take more weight than others. Tires like BF Goodrich surprisingly takes more
More
weight
weight,
than
yeah.
others. Even the KO2s take more weight to balance than
Right.
normal or like other
Yeah.
tires. Nitto and Toyo tend to take less weight and balance out.
That's our
easier.
experience, but yeah,
that's
what
our
we found. Yeah.
experience. I've only balanced, hundreds of tires.
Hundreds and
That's-
hundreds lately. Yeah.
But that's just something to be aware of. It doesn't mean your tire's bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like sometimes you might look at the tires that came on your vehicle and notice there's a lot of wheel weights from factory.
Yeah.
BFG Goodrich,
Yeah.
KO2s, KO. That's just the way life is.
And what is, for people that don't know, what is road force balancing and why would you need that?
So road force balancing is a fancy way of balancing that I don't ever do unless we're trying to solve an issue.
Right.
Basically, it's a very fancy $35,000+ machine
Yeah.
that allows it to put pressure as if it was on a car driving with weight and road force
Yeah.
to balance in that situation instead of spinning with no vehicle, no
Right.
weight, no nothing.
So
on a
it kind of
typical-
simulates basically
It's
what
trying
road,
to
yeah.
simulate driving down the road with a vehicle
Yep.
and balance as opposed to just spinning free on a balancer with no
Yeah.
force added.
So the times we've done it have been usually with some heavy MT tires, and we've had 40s like that we've rode for.
We've had some 40s,
Yeah.
we've had 37. Like if we have a balancing shake issue,
Yeah.
that's my last straw before luckily it's also the straw I use to warranty with.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I get a printout.
Right. Yeah.
And if your tire can't balance on a road force balancer, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Now, is road force more of a thing for cars? Yes, 100%, because they're going faster. They have lower
Right.
profile tires.
Yeah.
They drive faster speeds. That's more of a thing for like higher performance vehicles.
Right,
But it is
right.
a great tool I use
Right.
to solve an issue or diagnose a problem.
Right. And then when we talk about tires, generally with us, we're doing mainly 37s, but there's some 35s that we do.
35,
And
37,
there's some
38,
40s, right?
40.
But generally 37 has got to be 90% of what we
is
do here.
80% of the tires for sure.
Yeah, so it's a big portion of the tires we do here. Let's talk about load rating, because I don't think a lot of people understand load rating with what it means drivability
Well, it
on the
means
road,
something
off-road.
different now than it used to.
Yep.
So
Yeah, take it in.
long time ago, the load rating, one is based on what weight load that tire can take per tire.
Right.
And then also back in the day, it usually meant how many steel belts were in it.
Okay.
So I forget, I think E rated were 10 plies,
Yeah.
and then D was 8, and C is 6. Nowadays, that isn't always the case. It's
Right.
more based on load rating. So you can have a 8-ply tire that has a load rating of an E,
Yeah.
and that's how they do it. That doesn't mean it's less of a tire. It's just there was a load rating.
Right.
And it just happened to be years ago that those load ratings also happened to have that many belts at that time. But
Right.
they design tires differently nowadays.
Right.
So
So maybe like it's interesting. My new GMC Canyon comes with C-rated tires. They're much lighter.
which are great for Jeeps.
Yeah.
And light trucks that don't want to drive aggressive.
Yeah. So maybe let's go through why you would choose a C, D, and I've even run E-rated tires, especially because I run weird
I've
sizes.
put on F-rated tires, just not on my vehicle.
Yeah, that would be insane. But maybe cover why you'd want a C, D, or E load-rated tire.
So realistically, the Jeep world, you're not going to get super heavy. So
Yeah.
factory Jeeps come with C-rated tires.
Right.
They also provide the most comfort because they're less stiff.
Right. The
So
sidewall's less stiff.
the
tire
whole
itself,
tire is
the-
less
The
stiff.
carcass is less stiff, yeah.
So that doesn't mean that the sidewall is weaker.
Yeah.
Because that could still have a 3-ply sidewall and be a C load rating.
Right, yeah.
Because we're not really comparing the sidewall as the load as much as the entire tire in
Right,
itself.
right. Gotcha.
So I would gladly run C tires in a 2-door because you can tell it's just stiff. The axles don't give you any give. An IFS vehicle has a lot more give to it.
Right.
Downside is there's a lot of 35s that are just E-rated. That's just the way they are in a 37.
Yeah.
Or if you go to a 20-inch tire, everything's E or
20-inch rim. Yeah.
And
that's generally way too stiff for people.
Your driving style is a little bit more aggressive, so you can feel the sidewall flexing on your type of driving. When if you drive a Jeep like just around, you're going to have more cushion because of it.
So I find, again, just driving daily with a C-rated tire right now when I like to drive aggressively, right?
I made that point.
Yeah. So when we are doing corners or doing anything like that, especially any kind of aggressive corner, even a sweeping corner, I find with a C-rated tire, the sidewall is bending over, and I can see that because there's wear on the outside.
On a C, on a 17, on a 35.
C on a 17, right? And so I'm finding that, and as opposed to driving a Gladiator, what I had E-rated tire on there
20s.
at 25 PSI, for example, is like that tire does not have much give in the sidewall, doesn't have much rollover or failover.
It was also a wider wheel.
And a wider wheel, but it's definitely on road manners wise, you feel more of the bumps, but you get much better cornering and handling. That's why D-rated, I think, is probably middle of the road for a lot of people.
D is the most common size we use in all our builds because
most 37s are D.
Most sizes come that way. Something you've got to take into account, and regardless, I know the internet is going to argue with me on this, but there's a specific size wheel that are meant to fit certain tires.
Right.
And I'm not talking 17-inch wheel, 17-inch tire.
Right.
Width.
You're talking wheel width.
So like a factory wheel, most of them from the Jeep are 7.5 inches wide.
Right.
I see people for years, they'll stuff a 12.5-inch wide tire or 13.5-inch wide tire on it, and you can make it fit.
Right.
According to the manufacturer, you're not supposed to.
Right.
Like, it does cause the sidewall to heat up faster. It is not... There is a chance something negative could happen down the road. There's also a chance that if something does, your insurance company doesn't help you out.
Right.
And that's just fact.
Yeah. And that bead is under a lot of stress.
Yes. So
even
if you look at any tire, any manufacturer website, any size, you can look it up and they will tell you the recommended width this tire should be on.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, it's an 8.5-inch wheel minimum for a 12.5-inch wide tire.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's best to stick in the parameters of what the manufacturer
to
says.
11.5-inch wide.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to be as cool as your thick buddies with their 12.5-inch wides.
Yeah. Inflation comes up a lot.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people with an aftermarket, like 37-inch, 12.5-inch, 17-inch tire.
Ignore the door.
And they're basically trying to pump up to 37 PSI because that's what it says on their Jeep door.
Yeah.
So again, we use a taser, the automotive taser, to reduce that down to 20, 25.
Threshold.
And then we say, hey, you should be running anywhere from 25 to 28. Some people run 30 if you're heavier.
So my rule of thumb, the only time you use the door is if you have factory wheels and tires.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
That's what that was designed for.
Yep.
You throw that out the window.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Jeep, Wrangler, and Gladiator, I usually start 30 on a Wrangler and 32 on a Gladiator.
Right.
And then people will know the term chalk test.
Yeah, chalk test.
I basically always do a chalk test without using chalk.
Right.
So I'll drive, and if I notice that my vehicle has gotten wet or dirty and the outsides of my tread haven't been touched,
you're overinflated.
I have too much air.
Yeah, you're
so I drop some down.
Yeah.
Right now, my two-door drives on 26.
Yeah.
And I evenly wear perfectly. I'm a lighter weight vehicle, even with my skid plates. But 9 times out of 10, I'm somewhere between 28 to 30 on a 4-door.
Okay.
Now, that would be different if I was super heavy in the same vehicle.
Yeah, if you're running a Gladiator
if
or
I had
a Wrangler with a tent or something.
Now you might see a whole different wear pattern.
Yeah.
So I just always keep an eye on my tires. Sometimes with a Gladiator, you want to run different front to back or even on a Wrangler, which is fine.
Yep.
I just always keep an eye on what my tires are doing.
Yeah.
And you could do a chalk test. There's 8,000 videos online to teach you how.
Yeah.
I just, because it's always raining here, I can do it with water.
Right. Yeah. And then as far as going off-road and you deflate when you go off-road, a lot of people are like, oh, I went down to 22 PSI. That's as low as I should get. They're
Cool
afraid,
story, bro.
They're afraid to let air out of their tires.
Well,
they're
there's
afraid
a chance
of those.
they might not have there to put back.
And
Instead of like, a lot of people like to carry a bag of balloons in their center console.
Yeah.
And then while you're airing down, you catch the air.
Catch the air.
And then you tie a knot.
Yeah.
And you put it back in the car. And then when you're done, you can put it back in the wheel.
Cool.
But
I've never heard of this, but that's cool.
you're never on the internet. It's fine.
You've seen it. Okay, cool.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Seen it many times. You wouldn't believe the clown cars I run into.
Yeah.
I always go to 12.
Yeah.
I went to 12 when I had a stock 33 and 17-inch tire. I go to 12 with a 35 and 17-inch tire. With bead grips, I go to 10. I don't even care.
Right.
I know you can go lower. I just haven't ran into... I don't do a lot of snow wheeling, so I don't need to.
With my two-door, because it's so freaking light, and I had 13.5-inch wide tires, I was doing 8 basically. I had it set for 8, and that was pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never lost a bead that wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Anytime I've lost a bead, I'm trying to think, probably 3 times in the last decade. Every time I called it, knew it was going to happen, yet I did the stupid maneuver anyways. Twice was in snow.
Oh, mine was always high-speed driving,
yours
slid into giant
yours
rock,
are sliding
cracked the
everywhere.
wheel.
Mine are generally, I'm stuck in a certain situation. You know, if you're in snow, you got to think about side inflection, right? So if you're bending the vehicle over and that sidewall is bending and you're trying to get, especially in snow, and all of a sudden it does catch or it falls off something, then you're going to lose a bead, and it's not the end of the world. It just happens. And the other time was just in rocks. I went way too low on air pressure on the rocks and it came off. But generally every time I've done that, I knew it was going to happen kind of as I'm doing it, and I'm saying to myself, this is going to happen. Here it goes. So don't be afraid to go down. 12, I think, is reasonable. A lot of people use the deflators. We have deflators that we use that are set for 12. Just screw them on and go to 12.
Out there.
So many different brands.
Choices.
But
hell, you can just use a Bic pen.
Yeah, and they're super handy. And then for airing up you can air up. There's tons of different systems out there. We happen to have the best.
Or you could drive to a gas station safely.
Yeah, you can drive.
Not on the highway at 12.
Yeah. Don't drive highway speeds at 12.
Because we have seen tires catch fire.
Yes, I have seen that myself. We're driving on low
or
pressure.
turn into gooey, rubbery, melted goo.
Cool. The last topic to talk about is, people ask a lot, is an AT versus an MT tire. And maybe talk a bit about that and what you make your decisions.
So AT stands for all-terrain.
Oh, my goodness.
And MT stands for mud terrain.
There we go.
Crazy, eh?
Crazy.
So, do you like mud? No?
No.
You don't need a mud tire.
Yeah.
So, end of story. We're done talking.
I like the way they look.
You have a compensation issue.
I love the way mud tires look.
Okay, so most people don't need a mud tire, ever,
Yeah.
unless you literally do mud things.
Yeah.
An all-terrain tire will almost have more traction in rocks than a mud tire.
Right.
So, and nowadays, we are getting a much more selection of aggressive all-terrains
ATs,
or hybrids that are in the middle between the two.
Yep.
So it's like an AMT tire.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. We bridged it.
My choice of tire, because we live in such a rainy place, I want the most aggressive all-terrain I can get.
Right.
With a snowflake rating, because it does get icy once every 3 years.
Yeah. We have a lot of mountain passes we have to go over here to get to the fun stuff, right?
Now that you just don't have to worry about legality if you have, like most legality, M+S will count. Snowflake is non-arguable.
Right.
Like you don't have to worry about somebody's discretion being wrong.
Right, yeah.
You will get through. And I don't like slipping. And really wet roads and mud tires don't like each other.
Right, yeah.
I don't care what they look like.
Yeah. So you'll find with us, most of the builds we do are with aggressive ATs.
Aggressive ATs, or if they want, sometimes you can't get a really large tire in an AT, so you are in an MT. So in 40-42s, there's not a ton of all-terrain options in that size.
All-terrains tend to be better gas mileage. They have better rolling resistance. Quieter, as opposed to...
your friends might make fun of you if they're also having compensation issues.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't happen. But cool. So that covers our talk on tires. Again, if you have any questions on what we put in there, please put it in the comments. We do read them. And as I said before, please don't put any swear words in there, or do.
And if you'd like to support this podcast without sending an envelope full of cash, what can they do, Paul?
They can visit our website at epic-4wd.com.
What's on the website?
The website has our own products on there.
We make products?
We make fantastic, high-quality products. So that's how you can support us. Check it out.
Excellent.
Give us some money. We will send you something truly cool.
Or you can, below this video, you can grab swag that we will be updating more this year with some cooler stuff.
Yep.
Maybe some funny things.Maybe some stuff you can't wear to work things.
Yeah, not safe for work clothes.
Yeah, love
Is that what we're starting to sell now? Okay, cool. Awesome. So that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate your support, and we'll catch you next time. That's a wrap.
Perfect.
I will now speak in a calming narrator voice. Thanks for listening to Two Dudes, One Wrench. If you like what you heard, please tell all your friends, and even your enemies. If you didn't like what you heard, that's valid. Growth often starts with discomfort.
This podcast is produced in-house by the super good-looking folks at Epic Adventure Outfitters. Did you know that Epic custom crafts our own premium off-road products? If you'd like to support our small courageous crew, please visit our website at epic-4wd.com. That's epic-4wd.com. Make a purchase of our premium gear and give us your money. In turn, we will ship you something truly special. Epic, where legendary people get epic gear. The podcast is produced by Stefan Radovic, known to his friends simply as Beardo. We are sound mixed wonderfully by audiophile Mark Henderson. Our theme music is by the reclusive Vancouver artist known as Chadwick. Podcast artwork is by our dear friend and mother to 5 spirited children, Beth McLean. Your hosts, Paul Brassington and Christian Hansen, 2 people who have a great disdain for each other, yet remain openly friendly in public. Logistics are important and handled by Jamie Manns. Background commentary and moral support rests with Landon Kello. Our liability reduction specialist and in-house therapist is Lindsay Ramage. Our executive producer is Alex McDonald, who is from Scotland but has never played the bagpipes. This has been an Epic Adventure Outfitters production. The episode is now complete. This has been whatever this was. Until next time.